Hi, my name is Ray Romano, and I confess that I'm a baseball fanatic. Lots of people want to be instant all-stars, but you know what? Baseball, it's just like everything else. You've got to learn the basics. As one big leaguer said, playing without the fundamentals is like eating without a knife and fork. You make a mess. The good thing is, learning the fundamentals is easy when you have the right tools. And that's what I love about this instructional video series, Play Ball.
Little League had me ready for just about everything. I played shortstop one day, but I pitched and played first base in Little League. And when you mention Little League, I get a smile on my face because I had some great memories there.
They do a lot of fundamental down in the Little League. You get a chance to play the game, hear from your coaches because they know more than you. Stay disciplined, listen. You learn a lot.
I think it is very important. The more positions you play, the smarter you become and the better baseball player you become because you have more experience at each position. So if your coach wants you to play third, go play third. If he wants you to go play right field, go play right. The quicker you learn how to play different positions, if you're fortunate enough to get to this level, or a college team or a high school team, you're going to be very valuable to your team.
Okay, now I want you to meet Rex Hudler. He's going to be coach for the authentic Little League guide to basic fielding. Rex was one of the game's most passionate and motivated players. He started off playing with the New York Yankees, Philadelphia Phillies, Baltimore Orioles, St. Louis Cardinals, and Anaheim Angels before moving into coaching. During his 20 years in professional baseball, Rex played every infield and outfield position. He's known for his positive attitude, his dedication to the game, and his nickname. Yo, Wonder Dog, take it away.
Pick a sport, any sport. It doesn't matter whether it's basketball, football, soccer, hockey, or especially in baseball. Good defense wins games. Sure, hitting's every player's favorite part of baseball, but your team will never get to hit if you can't make 3 outs. Outstanding fielding in baseball is recognized with an award we call the Gold Glove in the major leagues. There are players who become Hall of Famers thanks to their great defense. In fact, guys like the Wizard, Ozzie Smith, Phil Rizzuto, Pee Wee Reese, and even Bill Mazeroski, they're all in the Hall of Fame because of their defense and the way they could field the ball. Defense even has its own spot on the scoreboard. It's right next to hits and runs, and it says errors. But we all make them, so don't worry about them. A Little League team gets 18 outs, 27 outs in the pros, and you certainly don't want to give your opponents any extra outs. Limit your errors, and your team will deal with fewer base runners, meaning fewer chances to score runs against you. And the faster you get 3 outs, the sooner it'll be your turn to take your rips. Did you know that the most important part of your playing baseball is your equipment, your glove? This is the single most important thing that you can have as a baseball player. You don't want it too big or too small. You want something right in between that you're going to be comfortable with. So when the ball goes in, your hand can go in all the way around the ball. You don't want to have to fumble for the ball and kind of look for it. If your glove's too small, you can't get a grip. If it's too big, you can't find it. Reach in. Make sure that you can control the ball inside of the glove. That's extremely important. And also, you've got to take care of it. Find a nice, warm, dry place to store it. Heck, don't leave it out in the yard where the dew's going to get on it or the sprinklers might make it wet, because leather and water don't mix. The dew in the grass will ruin your glove. If your glove is in good shape, you'll be in good shape as a player. And don't let the dog have it. Let the dog have another toy. Take care of your equipment. It will take care of you. There's going to be some times when you go, your dad's going to bring you home a brand new glove from the store, and first of all, you're going to thank your dad and say, "Hey, Dad, thanks for my glove." Now what do? Well, it's a stiff glove. See, this one glove is already broken in. You can see how it's laying down flat. This other glove here is brand new, and it doesn't close all the way. So it's stiff. So what I would do is I would get some shaving cream and I would just put a little cream on it. And did you know that there are many different ways that you can break a glove in? Okay, there's a lot of different ways. Here's the way I did it. I put a little bit of cream in there and I would just kind of mix it around the area where I was going to catch the ball. And I let it soak in just a little bit, and I also treat the outside of the leather. This is going to help moisten your glove. It's going to help soften it some, so it's going to be a lot easier to catch the ball when the ball gets in it. You let it soak for a little bit, and the excess, you just wipe it off. And you're going to find yourself a nicely conditioned leather glove that's ready to go. Also, if it's so stiff like this, here's what you do. Here's what I did. I would take my belt off of my uniform, take it off. I would find me a baseball. I would put it in the glove, and I would take this belt, and I would hold it, and just because it's elastic, it moves. It's like a big rubber band. I would buckle it all together, and I would leave it closed with the ball inside. That helped it form. Let me tell you, the easiest way to break in a glove is to use it. Go out and play catch with it. That's the best way you're going to get your glove in shape. Now we're ready to play baseball. You have to be ready when that ball is either hit to you in the air, or whether somebody throws it to you right at you, or if somebody hits it on the ground. You've got to be ready to catch the ball. So first things first, you've got to be in a good ready position. You've got to be on the balls of your feet. You've got to be ready to move if the throw's over here, or if it's up. What I like to tell you kids, in baseball, you have to do everything out front when you're fielding the ball. Everything's out in front. From a fly ball up to the top, you want your hands to be fully extended so you can catch that ball. You don't want the ball to catch it down here. You're going to get clonked on the head. You want to catch it fully extended. The ball comes right to you. You want to reach out and catch it in front. Ground ball, same thing. You just turn your glove over this way and your hands are out in front, your knees are bent, and you catch it out in front, so in case the ball has a bad hop, you can just move with the ball. But in order to do that, you must be able to catch the thing out in front.
I'm Jeff Blum, and I play third base, and some of the things that I'm working on at third base is keeping my feet in a good firm foundation about shoulder width apart, keeping my knees bent, my butt down, and my glove hand out in front of me at all times. I don't want to field the ball behind me. Second thing is I got to keep my bare hand out in front of me, keep it above the glove. Number one, to protect that face, because you don't need any extra dental work. And the second is when you catch that ball, it makes it a lot quicker transfer into the throwing hand. And then I just come up, get my shoulders square to first base, and just let her fly.
Get in the ready position, Matthew. Let's see. Are you about ready to catch a ball? Okay, you're about ready? Okay, the ball on the ground, what are you going to do? Hands out front? That's it, fully extended. The ball that's thrown right to you, how are you going to handle that one? That's it, Matthew. All right, how about the pop-up? Fully extended. Make sure you use both hands out in front. That way, you catch it at its highest point. It's going to keep you from getting hit by the ball. Ball on the ground, keep your hands out in front. Ball to you, right at you. Boys and girls, you just saw a future major leaguer show you how to do it. Team defense is a very important part of our game. Heck, and in defense, you've got to know your responsibility, especially if you're in the infield. You've got to think ahead before the pitcher throws the ball. You've got to know whether you're going to back up a base, or where you're going to throw the ball if it comes to you, or where to be on the diamond. That comes with thinking ahead, being prepared, and having responsibility. Now, we want you to be aggressive too. Always be aggressive in baseball, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Because when you're aggressive, sometimes you're going to overplay a ball, or something's going to happen on the field and you might make a mistake. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. In order to play the best of your ability, you've got to be able to just go out and have fun and let the chips fall where they fall. Let it all out, know what you're going to do before the play comes to you, and have some fun, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. You guys will be good. Teach you a couple fundamentals here. What's important is when that ball comes off the bat, you have to be ready. That's ready position. Ball's in your feet. I want to be able to move to my right. I want to move to my left. But I want to center the ball up if I can. And you have to know the speed of the ball. How hard's it hit? Do I have to charge the ball? I mean, if it's a slow hit ball, you have to run get it. And that cuts down the time to get that first base with the guy running to first out. Now, if it's a ball that's hit hard, maybe 2 hops to you, you don't have to charge it. It's going to charge you. So what you want is you want to be ready when the ball crosses the plate, hands out in front, and here it comes a 2-hopper, you're ready. And it's also important to keep your glove down, okay? Head down, glove down, tail down. Got to keep those things down. out in front. Your glove has to be on the ground. And did you know that it's much easier for me to come up on a ball when my glove's down here, bad hop, whoop, I came up. If you start up here like this and the ball stays down, it's going to be between your legs. And another thing, when the ball hops up and makes a bad hop on you, if it hits you in your chest, that's okay. It's not going to hurt. But you're keeping the ball in front of you, and then when the ball's down, you can go with your bare hand and pick it up and throw. You want to have your fielding hand right close by. So if it takes a bad hop on you, this hand will be there to stop it. And if it doesn't take a bad hop, the ball will go right into your glove. This hand will be ready to take it out. And then you bring it to your waist and you have a crow hop. You want to get your body going where you're going to throw the ball. If you play third base or shortstop, you've got to get something extra on the throw. Make sure when you grab the ball, try to find the four seams, bring it to your chest, a crow hop, and throw. And a crow hop is exactly what that is. You've got to get some momentum on your ball. You field it, chest, crow hop, get something going, and I aim my body, my shoulder, my legs go right to where I'm throwing it, and I throw over the top. Let me try another one. Smooth motion, all in one motion. Hands out front, right there, perfect follow through. Bring that to your chest a little bit better. Like it. When it comes to fielding a ground ball, that's not easy to do. That takes years and years of practice. Heck, even our game's greatest, Derek Jeter, great Yankee shortstop. Did you know that in the minor leagues one year, he made 56 errors? Wow, that was like the most in the league that year. Heck, Chipper Jones, in his first year with the Atlanta Braves, he was an MVP. He made 14 errors in his first 44 games. He was nervous. He was a little tight. It's not easy. To be the best at fielding a ground ball, you got to practice, practice, practice. You got to continue to work at it every day, even when you get to the majors. Now we're going to talk about how important it is for your feet to be in the right place when you pick up a ground ball. You have to be able to move your feet. That's so important on being a good infielder. There are 3 different ways you can move your feet when a ground ball comes to you. First and number 1, when the ball is hit to you, you have to be able to circle into the ball to try to get your momentum going towards first base where you're going to throw it. Okay? So how do I get in position? I'm in ready position. A ball crosses the plate. I'm ready. Now it's hit to me. I have to move. I have to use short little steps, and I have to move myself to get myself into position for number 2. My second foot position in number 2 is have your left foot a little bit ahead of your right foot. That's going to help your balance. If you're a right-handed thrower, you have to come over here, field. That's going to give you this open for your backside. So then footwork number 3 is after your foot's in place and you catch the ball, then you shuffle your feet. You have to get some momentum going towards first base. Number 1, circle into the ball. Number 2, when you catch the ball, your foot should be out in front. And number 3, coming up, crow hop, get your feet and body going in the direction you're throwing. Does everybody know how to do that? Jitty, nice and easy. Ball's coming to you, circle around it, get yourself going. Perfect, go ahead and try it again. Ball's coming, circle into it, get your feet going, good job. Once you use the proper footwork to catch that ball, now comes the throw. And sometimes that's the hardest part for people. I know it was for me when I played. But here's some things that's going to help you. When I caught the ball, whether it was on a ground ball rolling or whether it was stationary, I would pick it up, I would try to find the seams. I would roll the fingers, try to get across the seams right there. That's going to give me a straighter throw to first base. Another thing that's going to help you keep the ball straight is by throwing over the top. If you throw over the top with the seams, your ball is going to stay straighter. The minute you start throwing down here from sidearm, you're going to have some problems with the ball sailing away. Grab the seams, stay on top, get your arm going in the right way, and throw a perfect strike to first base. That's so important. Now, once you catch it, find the seams. And you practice that by catching. When you just play catch with everybody, when you warm up before the game starts, practice on finding the seams. You shouldn't even have to be able to look at it. You find the seams with your finger. You have good feel in your finger. Find to get across the seams. Come on top, throw right on top, and you'll have a straight throw right to your target. Okay, a barehanded play. When the ball is rolling to you, or if it's on a dead standstill, it's important that you go down with your bare hand first, and you pick it up when it's a dead ball like this, pick it up on top, and throw. Some mistakes kids make, they come in, they try to scoop it up this way, and it's going to knock the ball. You want to come in when the ball's dead, get right on top of the baseball. Now, if one's rolled to me, roll it to me. I'll show you. One's rolling, I want to put my hands underneath it. Let it roll right in my fingertips. Try it again. We'll let it roll right there. And then I come up and throw. And another thing, footwork, that ball's dead. I want to come in and I want my left foot to go down by the ball. So therefore, when I pick it up, my right foot can come and get a base to throw off of. Does that make sense? If I come down right-handed with my right foot, then I have to take too many steps to get going. One smooth motion like that. Another play that happens a lot is a pop-up play. It looks easy, but it's really not, especially if it's daytime like today. Okay, the sun's out, and I see the ball go up. First of all, I have to communicate with my teammates and know who's going to catch it. So you have to call for the ball if it's coming to you. Say, I got it, I got it. And another thing that lets your teammates know you have it is when you wave your hands. If you wave your hands like this, the outfielder may not be able to hear you, but he can see you. He knows you have it. But only wave your hands like this when you know the ball is coming to you. And the sun, if you're in a sun field like we are today, you use this hand to block the sun. See that? I can use that hand, block out the sun, and I can make the play. In order to make a pop-up play correctly, you must have a little bend in your knees. You can't catch a pop-up just standing flat-footed. You got to be on the balls of your feet. You got to be able to move side to side, both hands up at the top. Regardless, if there's a sun or not, you must catch the pop-up with two hands. That's important. Two hands will help balance your body out. Okay, one hand, you're not really sure. If the ball goes in your glove, it could pop out. And your other hand's not there, it's over here. You want two hands to catch that ball. Pop up, two hands. The other hand helps close the glove. That way you know you have it.
Always use two hands, keep your head on the ball, don't be scared of the baseball, and always have fun on the baseball field.
Now it's time to play the outfield. When the manager told me, Hud, I've seen enough of you in the infield, now it's time for you to go to the outfield, I said, okay, coach, but I had to know some important things. First of all, there was no one backing me up. I was backing up the infielder, but the only thing backing me up was the outfield fence, so I couldn't miss a ball. I had to stay in front of the ball. I had to use both hands. I had to stay in front and try not to let the ball get behind me because there was no one there to get it. On a ground ball in the outfield, when it would come to me, I would make sure to get in front of the ball, stay in front of it. Do all you can to stay in front of the ball and don't let it get by you because there's no one behind you. Make the play, try to come up, and the thing is, when you get a ball in the outfield, whether you catch it in the air or a ground ball, be ready to throw. Don't hold the ball in the outfield because the runner will take extra bases on you. When you catch the ball, you catch it and you come right up and you use that shoulder and you throw right to your cutoff man, usually the second baseman or the shortstop or third baseman or first baseman. Whoever comes out to get the throw, make sure you get rid of it quickly. You don't want to hold on to it. Now a ball that's hit over your head, the ball that's hit over to my right side like this, my right shoulder, my right foot, I turn with my right foot. My first step is back with my right foot. Gives me an easier path to the ball. If the ball's hit over my left shoulder, same thing. I drop with my left foot. My left foot goes back, opens me up to get to the ball over my head. And if it's directly over your head, sometimes you just got to do the best way to get back on the ball. And remember, always use two hands when you catch a fly ball. Keep the ball in front of you, hit the cutoff man, and don't let the ball get behind you. You gotta have a special skill to catch. You're the only player on the diamond facing the other way. You're facing all the action. You see what's going on. So really, he's a coach that's a player. He has to communicate with the pitcher, tell him what pitches to throw. He puts signs down, and he also can direct the other players where to throw the ball, what to do. The catcher is like the quarterback. He makes all the calls. He makes the plays. He sits back in back of home plate. He must make sure, first of all, that he's in back of home plate far enough that he doesn't get hit by the backswing of the bat. Because that aluminum bat, when it hits you, it's going to win most of the time. It's not going to break. You're the one that'll break, so you got to be careful. Make sure all your team is ready. When you see a guy that's tying his shoe, you've got to be the one saying, hey, time out. We got a guy out here that needs time. You go back into position, you squat, you see your pitcher, you give him a sign right here between your legs, either fastball or changeup. Those are the only two kind of pitches you should be throwing in Little League. You make the sign, you put the sign down, you call the pitch, and you get ready. And when you catch the ball as a catcher, so important that this hand right here doesn't stay here. This hand goes right behind the shin guard, so it's protected. When you catch that ball, you're going to catch it with your glove, turning it over this way or in this way, but don't catch it with two hands. I know we teach you in the other positions to catch with two hands, but you can't as a catcher. You want to keep this hand, your throwing hand, behind this leg right here. That way when the ball comes and they maybe foul tip the ball, it doesn't hit your hand. If your other hand's sitting right here, it's going to get hit by the ball and you're going to have some injuries on that hand. So go ahead and call a good game and have some fun back here. It's a blast.
Little League catcher, I would tell any kid to make sure that they protect their throwing hand and try to become a one-handed style catcher. And the main reason is to protect that for any foul tips or things like that. And make sure that if you are a catcher that you wear that protective cup.
Another part about catching, you got to be able to bounce. Got to be able to bounce quickly out of your crouch. Sometimes that batter, he'll square around and he'll bunt. So you sit here, and when you see the ball go down, just like that, you have to first determine who's the ball close to. Is it closer to the pitcher, to the third baseman? You have to communicate. But in this case, it looks like I can get it. I come out, I say, I got it, I got it. I scoop it up by using my glove, scoop it in my hand, and then I line my shoulder up and I throw right over the top. All catchers must throw the ball over the top because it keeps the ball straight when they try to throw runners out at second and when they throw the ball at first base. Let me show you that scoop one more time. Ball goes out, you use your glove to scoop it in your hand, you shuffle your feet, and you throw over the top, just like some of the other positions. Everybody got it? Now let's talk about fielding a pop-up. When you're a catcher, heck, that's a real tough job, except that when the ball goes up behind the plate, it's always coming back towards you. It's got backspin on it. So the proper thing to do is to turn your back and catch that ball. I'm going to demonstrate for you. I'm in the position here. I'm ready. Ball comes, it's hit, ball goes up. I take my mask off first thing, and then I listen for my teammates to tell me where it is. Over here, right. Okay, I find the ball, and once I find the ball, I throw my mask away so I won't trip on it. And then I make the grab. But if you can let one of your first baseman or your third baseman catch that pop-up, you're a lot better off because that's a tough catch for a catcher. Chance, come on over here. Show them how it's done. Ready, position? Pop up. That's it. Good job, Chance. Way to get rid of the mask. You got it out of the way. I like that you made the play. Good job. That's how you do it. When it comes to blocking a ball and you're a catcher, you want to keep the ball in front of you. So you drop to your knees and use your chest protector. Use the gear. That's what your back gear for, to keep the ball from going to the backstop. And you want to try to keep the ball in front of you and then pounce on it. We'll see. That's how you do it, just like that, kids. Tough position, but if you're going to catch, you better be prepared.
I know as a young catcher, I always wanted to throw the guy out that was trying to steal second base, or throw the guy out that was trying to steal third base, or block the plate when a runner was coming around third, and not let that base runner score. But the most important thing for a catcher to do, as simple as it sounds, is to catch the baseball, especially when you're catching behind the plate and the pitcher's throwing to you. You want to catch that ball out in front. You want to give the umpire a good look at it. You want to make it look like a strike any way you can. Catch the ball is the most important part. You want to help that pitcher any way you can. You want to make him look as good as possible. So although it sounds very simple, the most important thing for a catcher to do is catch the baseball.
Every defensive position has a responsibility. Let's start with first base. First base has probably the most responsibility because you've got to be able to catch the ball. Most of the outs during a game are recorded right here at first base, from the ball hit to the infield positions. So what I want to do as a first baseman is I want to be comfortable, but as soon as the ball's hit, I have to know this is where I'm going. First base. If I'm right-handed, I use my left foot to go out and catch the ball. If I'm left-handed, I come to the base, I use my right foot to go out and catch the ball. Better first basemen usually are left-handed because it's an easier throw for them and it's an easier catch for them. Everything's right in here. When it comes to fielding a ball and you're the first baseman, you want to be aggressive. Always be aggressive on the ball field, no matter what position you play. But if you play first, you want to go after the ball. Sometimes you have to range far to your right. You listen for the second baseman. He'll call you off. Now there are other times when you catch the ball and you have it, you have a choice to make. Either I run to first base and try to beat the runner, or the pitcher's covering first and I try to lob him the ball. So it's a timing play that's involved in first base. If you can make those two plays like that, you've done a good job at first base. Now, you notice the glove I'm using is a little bit different. It's a rounded glove, and what this does is it allows for me to pick up the ball in the dirt a lot easier. I can scoop it. You can see how the scoop is going to help me with the ball coming right into the glove. When you specialize in baseball and you know you're going to be a first baseman, you can get one of these, but I wouldn't suggest you go out and buy one. I would just use your basic glove. My first start in the major leagues for the New York Yankees, I played first base with an outfielder's glove just like this. All it is a simple game of catch. If you can catch and you can move and you can stride once in a while and make a stretch, you too can be a good first baseman. Second baseman has several responsibilities. He's got to work with the first baseman and the shortstop because he has two bases to cover. Sometimes the first baseman, he'll charge on a bunt. The second baseman has to cover first base. That's on a bunt play. And on a double play ball, when a ball is hit to the shortstop or third baseman, the second baseman has to be able to come over and cover the base at second to get one out for sure. When it comes to playing second base and that ball is popped up on the right side by the first baseman, you've got to run over there, take priority over the first baseman, and call him off. I got it, I got it. You have to yell very loud and clear so you can communicate and your first baseman can hear you. Communication is everything when it comes to a pop-up. Sometimes you have to run a long ways in foul territory to catch that ball. And remember, it's important to try to catch it on the run, but keep your glove out of your face. You want to catch it like this, over on one side or the other. That's a tough play when you're running and trying to catch it at the same time. And when it comes to the ball hitting to the shortstop and third baseman, there's a runner on first, you want to come to second base, catch the ball out front, but you want to step on the base with your left foot. Now it's taught a couple different ways, but I played mainly second base and I got a good idea about how it's turned. The left foot on the base was easier to turn the double play. I catch it, come down with my right, and I throw, and I have to get out of the way of the base runner who's sliding. Now I'm all lined up and I'm ready to throw across over the top to the first baseman. That's how you turn a double play. You got to be ready, you got to be alert. Shortstop is one of the toughest positions on the baseball diamond, mainly because you're on the right side over here. There's mostly right-handed hitters that play the game. They're going to be hitting you a lot of balls to your right, to the hole. You have to be able to come up and catch this ball, and then you have to get on top and make a long throw across the diamond. That's not easy to do. That's why it's important that you try to find the seams and throw on top. The line drives, the ground balls, those things are all routine, but they've got to be made. The shortstop has to go to his left far this way. He has to also help the second baseman on double play balls when there's a ball hit to that side, covering second base. He must be able to field the position. You always want to know where you are, where your other players are, and stay close to second base when there's a man on first base. Now, because the slow roller, the balls that are hitting the hole, the shortstop has to be really agile on his feet. You got to be able to come forward, go back, and have a strong throwing arm. Shortstop is definitely one of the toughest spots. I started playing shortstop when I was drafted by the Yankees, and I had a hard time making the throw across the diamond because I couldn't get my arm on top. My arm would always be on the side here, and therefore my throws would sail, and it would go into the stands most of the time. So try to stay on top, stay focused. Also, know where you're playing, and you have to dive. There are certain times you got to dive for a ball. If it's too far out of your way, you want to keep the hitter from getting an extra base, you must dive. So you want to make a good dive, you got to land on your chest. You want to land on your chest and have your glove open, both sides. But you got to be able to get to your feet quickly and throw. That's what makes shortstop such a hard position. You have to know ahead of time what you're going to do before the ball's hit. Know the number of outs. Know where your defense is playing. Also, try to know the speed of the runner. Help the second baseman on double plays. You also have to cover on a steal, bunt plays. There are so many things that a shortstop has to be prepared for. It's a fun position. You're in a lot of action, and that's the position I started playing first, and I like it. It's a lot of fun. The last position we're going to talk about today on the infield is third base. And they call third base the hot corner because the ball gets on you quickly. That right-handed batter, and there's a left-hander pitching on the mound, that ball's coming into the right-hander. He hits, and that ball is on you so fast down here, faster than any other position. So you have to be ready. And you want to have your hands already down and ready, because when that ball comes on you, it comes on you fast and hard ball. You have to have quick reactions, and you have to know what you're going to do with the ball. Now, when I play third base, you see the base and the line right there. I don't have to worry about having to run very far to my right here to catch a ball. Mainly, my concerns playing third base are the balls to my left, having to range far to my left, and the play that comes in, mainly the bunt. A third baseman has to be ready to field the bunt with the pitcher. So when that happens, you want to give a little ground, you want to come in a little bit and play shallow, and when he squares around to bunt, you want to come in and field the bunt with two hands, come up and throw over the top to first. Now, lots of times when that ball's hit to you so quickly here, you pick it up, you have lots of time. Sometimes the batter hasn't even left the box. He's maybe 2 steps out of the box. So you have plenty of time to gather yourself and come across the seams, throw over the top, and throw a good solid strike to first base. Mainly, balls in front of you and balls to your left, but also be quick on your feet because it's going to get on you quickly here. You do those things, you ought to be a pretty good third baseman.
Well, I just want to talk about fielding a ground ball and some of the mistakes that the younger players make when they're fielding a ground ball. Really the most important thing, and it seems very simple, is that you have to have your glove open to field a ground ball. When a ball's hit to you, a lot of kids, and even some major leaguers, when they do it incorrectly, tend to have the glove like this, and they just kind of flash it at the last second. Well, if a ball's coming to you and you flash it too late, you may knock it and it may not go in. The biggest thing is when you're coming to the ground ball, make sure that glove is open. All you have to do is raise it up and down, and the ball will go right in. If it goes over here, you just keep it here instead of flipping and flashing it. Keep the glove open. It's simple, but makes a big difference.
There's a couple other elements in baseball that we haven't talked about, and I'd like to cover those. the tag out, when you tag a sliding runner, and in a rundown. When you get a runner in a rundown, what do? First of all, it's important when somebody takes off to run and they're going to slide in the base and you're the one catching the ball, you must try to straddle the base with both your feet, with the bag between your legs, and give that runner plenty of sliding room as he can slide right in there. Next, wherever the ball's coming from, the catcher or somewhere else on the diamond, you always want to have your glove fully extended where you can catch the ball out in front. When you make the tag, you want to lay your glove down right in front of the base and let the runner slide into your glove. You can apply the tag with one hand, or you can hold two hands in there. And when you feel his feet or her feet hit your glove, then you pull it up. Show the umpire the ball, and you've made a correct tag. Now let's talk about the rundown. If I'm the third baseman and the runner here takes off towards home and the ball goes to the catcher's job is to run the runner back to the base he just came from. If I'm a third baseman, I never want to run the runner towards home. That's where he wants to go. You always run them back to where they came from. That's proper. And you try to stay on the one side, the catcher's throwing arm. And when you catch the ball and you go to tag the runner, make sure you use two hands. Never try to tag the runner with just the ball in your hand and you could drop it. Now sometimes you have to tag him with the ball in your hand. That's okay. But make sure, run the runner back to the base he came from, two hands firmly in the glove, and apply the tag. And when you do that, you just tagged him out. If you're a little leaguer, chances are there's nothing you'd rather be doing than playing baseball with your friends. But the next time you and your buddies go out to the park or the baseball field to play, keep in mind a number of fun and simple drills that will make you a better fielder. Let's start with the ground ball drill. You can never practice the ground ball drill too much if you want to be a good infielder. Here's how it works. You and a friend go out into the field, stand about 40 feet apart, and then throw the ball on the ground to each other. When it's your turn to field the ball, make sure you concentrate on the fundamentals. Stay in front of the ball, get down low, hands out in front. Catch the ball, bring it into your chest, and throw the ball on the ground and keep repeating this drill. One of the toughest plays to defend is the bunt. The bunt drill is an important drill to do every time you practice. In this drill, line up your teammates in front of the third base line and roll a slow bunt towards them. Have the players charge the ball, positioning themselves so that they can get a good angle to make their throw to first base. A great drill for outfielders is called the outfielder's fly ball drill. Have a coach or a parent stand about 60 feet away from the outfielders. Alternate throwing the ball over their right and their left shoulders and directly over their heads. Now, throwing the baseball is going to be a lot easier for you coaches and parents because you can place the ball pretty close to where you want it to go. If the ball is over the outfielder's right shoulder, the first step he makes should be to drop that step with his right foot and cross over with the other leg. And the same thing with the ball hit over your left shoulder. You drop with your left foot and the right foot will cross over. And the ball directly over your head, pick a side, either foot to drop back on, but you'll be going straight back on that one. The round-the-clock drill is a great drill to teach little leaguers the correct position of their hands for catching and throwing or hitting a baseball. An imaginary clock face over the fielder's body is the basis for two fielders to play catch. A thrower concentrates on the throwing to the imaginary number of the clock face. Imagine, if you will, 12 o'clock, then 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and all the way around the face of a clock. The fielder concentrates on which way to catch the throws depending upon if the ball is above or below the 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock line, or their waist. Ha ha! Pickle drill, one of my favorites. This is an important drill for all little leaguers. It's the old game of pickle. Start with two fielders positioned at imaginary bases. Then have base runners start at each base and get into a rundown between the bases. This drill works on the proper way to throw to fielders while chasing base runners in the base paths. And base runners develop their skills as they try to avoid the fielders' tags. Play ball! That famous baseball cry is as well known as any saying in the English language. Playing baseball is one of life's most treasured joys. And baseball, at its core, it's innocent. It's a beautiful game. A game to be loved and cherished, to teach us valuable lessons about life. But most of all, I think my memories of baseball, and especially Little League baseball, are really quite simple. It's about escaping under the hot summer sun, the dirt blowing in the wind, and a bunch of us kids just being kids. It just doesn't get any better than that.
Okay, so there you go. You can learn the basics, or you can rely on good old baseball superstitions and hope that that works for you. You know, a long time ago, Babe Ruth and the Yankees had a run of awesome luck, and it started right after Lou Gehrig's mother sent a jar of pickled eels to the clubhouse. After that, nobody would take the field without first getting a chewy mouthful of eel. You hungry? Just remember, if you refuse to change your lucky socks for 6 months, you probably won't be real popular with your teammates. So I'd stick with learning the fundamentals, but that's just me. Have fun out there.
I have video, you know, when I was a little leaguer, and I see myself and I just can't believe I was that small and that skinny and running around and enjoying myself. And you know, now here I am playing in the big leagues, and you know, I'm basically getting paid to do the same thing.
I think you learn to win and lose, so I think you learn to be respectful and learn to enjoy it.
I do remember that last year as a 12-year-old, I struck out only once. I think I hit something like 666 or something of that nature, some crazy number. And I just loved Little League.
The fondest memory I had was Willie Stargell coming down and speaking to us with We Are Family, the Pirates, and things like that, with all the kids and all of us in the cafeteria eating. And he walked in and everybody's eyes lit up, and that was something that I always remember.
I had a good time, you know. Like I said, we enjoyed some traveling in the tournaments, and what a great time I had. And when you mention Little League, I get a smile on my face because I had some great memories there.
You want to make sure that you're having as much fun as you possibly can. You want to make it fun, and so I encourage all kids who are going through the Little League program right now to just go out and have a blast.